up, y'all? It's Nasty Nate, and I got another interview today with my guy, Street Pilot Chad. I'm really excited to get into a conversation with him. I saw this guy. I don't think I had followed him before, or somebody reposted the video of you scraping while you took your helmet off, and I had, bro.
Yeah.
You had no idea how many times I thought about doing that before I seen you do it. And I was like, man, I can't bring myself to do it. I don't know why. I could one-handed scrape like no problem, but I think it was the holding the helmet in my hand that I couldn't like toss my hand back on the handlebar or something. I don't know if that's what was holding me back, but I couldn't do it. So
It's a ballsy move, dude. It's a ballsy one. You gotta just fucking go for it.
I know, it's crazy. So kind of just give me a little breakdown, just so people know who you are for anybody that doesn't. Where you from, how long you've been riding, what bike you ride, etc.
So I'm Chad. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm 24 years young, and I've been stunt riding for about 4 years now, on and off, give or take with all the injuries and shit.
Cool, yeah. I've had to take many of breaks due to injuries.
Yeah.
Talk to me about, I know you have a clothing brand. Talk to me about that a little bit. Let everybody know, because I feel like that's something that a lot of people either want to or, strive to do, but, something holds them back. Bro, for the longest time, I had people telling me that, I always used to hashtag, that wasn't shit. Somebody was like, make a shirt, make a sweatshirt, even if I'm like, would people really buy something that that I'm in charge of? I don't know. I just had this like belief that nobody would rock with it, and it's been great. I mean, I've made, some money doing so, and it's not really about the money for me. It's more about spreading the message and spreading the word. So talk to me a little bit about that. Talk to me about what it means to you, why you started it, and how's it going? What market are you reaching? All that kind of stuff.
Well, like touch down on that first point you made about like, well, do you think anyone's gonna buy anything out from underneath my name? And I feel like that's something that all brand or like anyone who started a brand, anyone who started anything, like you don't really have that confidence yet because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't even have that following yet for that brand. So I definitely feel that everyone shares that. I definitely did for a long time. What started the brand and my ambitions for that was like growing up skating as a kid, riding dirt bike. Always wanted a brand, something to fuel my passion and to allow me to do what I want while still riding, without like trying to chase after that sponsorship and become a pro, like paid rider. I just wanted to do something for myself to where like I could say here, like I can give back to the community or I can give back to the scene. So that was really the start of Pilots Club, which used to be Street Pilots Collective. A lot of people probably still know it by that. But before then, dude, like I started like multiple little brands, and none of them really went anywhere because I didn't get into them so much. It was just kind of like, oh, here's some stickers and shirts for friends. And until I got into Pilots Club, what really started it is I had an accident in 2017. It's like I had a ton of downtime. Like I was in bed for 6 months, couldn't walk. And I just said, fuck it. Like, if I'm going to be here, I might as well make use of it. I'm not going to revel in the fact that I'm hurt. Like I'm going to get in and get to work while I'm down.
I want to touch on that a little bit. Talk to me about, I feel like a lot of people are worried. So basically why I started these interviews was I wanted to, yes, I'm interested in the riding. Yes, I'm interested in, all these things, as people know the people that I'm interviewing. But what I'm really interested in is the mindset behind riding, because I preach so much about the mentality behind it and, what it takes to be a high level rider. So talk to me about that injury. Talk to me about where you were at mentally, during that downtime. Did you have any doubts? Did you have any fears, working back to getting back on the bike? Did any of that ever cross your mind? Or, talk to me a little bit about that.
Definitely not. I've always had like the attitude of just like get in and get after it. Like picture yourself doing something and like it's already yours. Manifesting what you want in life is something that's very so it's a reality that most people don't want to come forth to, or like that I feel like they're just saying it's spiritual bullshit. Like you're following a bunch of hypocrisy or something. For me, I feel like when I was down, all I could think about was riding or doing something to progress, because I couldn't just sit on my back and do nothing. So either I was at home in bed resting up, working on Pilots Club, like creating designs, looking for websites, just doing anything I could do. Watching, I watched so many documentaries on streetwear brands, and like what other people have done, collected all the information and just accumulated it into like what I need to do for myself, and ran with that. So what really helps me with writing as well is the same thing. Like I don't really watch too many writers, and not to sound like cocky or arrogant, but it's not because I don't want to focus on anything else. I just want to like focus on what I got to do, and it's not to like say, oh, fuck you or fuck him. It's just to focus on what I need to do, because that's how I'm going to progress. Like I can't worry about what this guy's doing over here or worry about what he's doing over there. Like I just picture the trick and inevitably do it. Because I feel like once you know balance point and C-stander, everything else can come to you. Like once you know throttle control and you're smooth, like that's a huge key to the game as well. Once you're down and you have something locked in, everything else should just flow. It's just how much you're willing to push it, for sure.
What do you mean willing to push it?
To push your limits, to like be able to say like, okay, like I want to get this trick down. I want to do this set of combos or whatever. Like that's what I feel. If you can picture it, you have it. And
so it seems like it's not just the bike that you have this like ambition. It seems like it's, I mean, if when you were down, you were working on the brand, and then trying to build the like thinking about the bike and getting back on. So it seems like it's kind of just like who you are. It's not really
yeah,
just like the bike, you know what I mean? Is that making
yeah, no, definitely not. And there's a lot of things I do outside of riding that help me with that. Like I've talked to you a couple times about it, is jiu-jitsu. And what's helped me with that is a lot of times when you're engaging into like certain martial arts or anything, one of the best things I've ever learned is to have a goal, right? So like with jiu-jitsu, when you're sparring, it's called rolling. And whenever I'm rolling with somebody, like I have one goal in mind. It may not even be to like submit my opponent or just like, to dominate them. It may just be like, I want to get to this certain position. And if I get to that position, that's cool, even if I win or lose. So I've adopted that kind of mindset and totally ran with that with riding. So if I'm riding and like I want to get a new trick down, say it's like I did a foot drag to Frogger the other day. Nothing incredible, but something I just haven't done for myself. So I just started taking little steps. Like I would do a foot drag, step up a couple times up to the tank, and then like probably 3-4 times after that, I was jumping to it.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that was my goal. So sometimes it's just taking baby steps, and it's not about just being able to fucking send it fully on like right away.
Yeah. Something I want to touch on there that you said was that you focus on what you have to do and yourself, not necessarily like yourself, but your goals and all that. And I want to commend you on that, because I feel like for me anyways, I'm competitive. So there is, yes, I'm competing with myself, but also too,
Yep.
I like to think of myself, and this is just what it is. If I continue to progress, straight line is just my thing. Like I've never been really into circles or riding lots. I ride in a lot, but straight line has always been my thing. I like to think that I have the capacity and I have the capability to be one of the best riders doing straight line. So that means if I'm going to be the best, I would have to compare myself in some sense. But I feel like in some ways that has hindered me and held me back. So I want to commend you for that, because I feel like I went through a little bit of some battles trying to work through that, especially when I was down. I started to like really progress about the same time. And I always tell this story because I got to give him the credit that he deserves. But I started to, everything I've been riding for longer than Veggie, but we started to click and everything started to progress at the same time. And we would go back and forth and hit each other up like, hey, I'm about to do this. You got to do it too. And it was all friendly. And then when I got hurt, I was like, man, he's passing me. And it was like, and then I felt, he's not worried about me. Like, we're homies, but he's not thinking about me. He's worried about what he's doing. So I was mentally defeating myself for absolutely no reason, So I want to commend you on, like you said, of course, I mean, you've always supported me. So I know that you're supporting the people that you do like to watch ride, but focusing on yourself,
Yeah.
I feel like is a huge game and a huge way to progress. Cause I've noticed that when I'm like, if, so-and-so is doing whatever, and just, like I said, it's not to me, I'm just naturally competitive. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what it is. If it's like when I was playing sports when I was little, but like, if I'm with somebody or I'm clutching up next to somebody, it's game time. Like, I don't know what it is that
Yeah,
just goes off in my head, but
I feel that too. I share that. I definitely want to get down with people and like have some competition. But at the end of the day, dude, like you wake up with yourself, you go to bed with yourself too, and you gotta be ready to hit it hard as fuck. And when you got nothing else, you got yourself.
yep.
And not to sound negative, I'm not to sound like stoic or negative about that, but you are ultimately your driving factor. You are the engine of success. Whatever you want in life is inevitably up to you. It's not what the person next to you is doing or what the person behind you is doing. It's about you and what you have in front of you.
Yeah. I had somebody say that they hope to be like me when they got better. And I was like, bro, thank God you want to be like me, because if you wanted to be like yourself, you might be better. Like,
Yeah.
and I,
Yeah.
I like to use that a lot. Like,
Hmm.
when for myself anyways, is like, I, I doubted myself when I was hurt for so long in this like 6 months, a year that I was down, that after I
Yeah.
came back and I progressed so quickly and so much, I was like, man, I really, just, this is just my mindset and my self-talk, but like, I don't believe that there's any physical like blocks. I really don't. Like, I think if I've seen somebody do something, there's no reason why I can't do it. Like, there's no
Yeah.
reason why I can't do these jumps that other people are doing. There's no reason why the tricks that come up in my head that I imagine, there's no reason why I can't do these. That's just how I feel for myself, because I feel like my potential is limitless because I've already done things that I thought that I couldn't do, you know, from
100%.
the beginning.
100%. And that's one thing that's so awesome about stunt riding is that it pushes people, like for people who are like top tier riders, um, like I gotta hand it. So you definitely have a huge capacity for mental fortitude, like for people who are really good in this game. Uh, but a lot of it too, like you were saying, you want to be good. There's not saying it in a bad way, but ego. Ego always has to be kept in check. You also need some too to be successful and to get ahead of things. It's not arrogance, but ego needs to be present within yourself in order to achieve like goals and get to some high standards that you set up for yourself.
Do you think it's ego, or do you think it's or do you think it's like a consistent um what would the word be? Like a kind of like a wonder, Like, is it an
Oh,
ego,
it's,
or is
like
it,
for pushing yourself?
yeah, or is it like, God, I wonder if, I wonder
Yeah.
if I can keep going. I wonder if this is a possibility. For me, I think we talked a little about this before we got on camera, but I had an ego in the beginning of when I started riding and stuff, and that is actually what brought a negative cloud, I feel like, over my name and myself, because I had ego involved. Now I kind of feel like I've checked the ego, and it's like whatever happens, or or whatever progression or whatever recognition or anything, whatever comes, it is what it is. I am who I am. I don't
Yeah.
need to prove anything to anybody. But I think for me now, it's like man, I wonder if I can do that.
Yeah.
I wonder
Well,
if I can keep going. I wonder if there's more for me right now. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, when I said ego, I didn't mean that in like a negative term. I mean that's like something that like drives you, like motivation. For like something that makes you want to be a better rider. I got to get motivated, and I got to kind of not hype myself. Yeah, like hype myself up. In order to get to places like, hey, I know I've done this. Like, why can't I smash this? Like I've know I've done this in the past. I know for a fact I'm gonna smash the fuck out of this next move or do something like that. So
Um,
it's definitely like it's a what if, but I feel like it kind of depends on personality as well in some cases. Because like for me, with fighting, like you know, I want to get in there and I want to be the best I can be. With riding, it's like I want to get in there and be the best I can be, still do the same thing. You know, whether it's ego or not, that's something that's will always be checked, and you have to find a balance, like a dichotomy. You know, like you need ego to feed success, but you also have to make sure it doesn't get too out of control and bring you down
Yeah.
or down.
Yeah. I feel like that, that balance, if
Yeah.
that balance, if it's not there,
Then
that's when you have issues.
yeah, yeah, exactly. That's where finding balance and, you know, just being a mature human being is key for sure, and just being able to like intelligently decipher your own behaviors in a way without getting too deep into it. But yeah, ego is something that definitely need to have, but you need to keep in check.
Hmm.
And I
Yeah.
mean in a good way.
Yeah. I like that, that idea of like worrying about yourself, but also, like I said, you know, the same as we talked about before, kind of having a little bit of balance. Cause there's times where I'll go to the lot and I'll ride and I'll just be so in the zone. And then I'll
Mhm.
look back and realize, like, you know, the homie at the lot learned a new trick and I'm so in the zone that I didn't even notice. And I want, you know, to be that hype man, to be, you know, to leave, you know, a mark of some sort of like me being supportive to other people. And because I know that this shit is hard. I mean, this shit is
Yeah,
hard. It takes so much,
yeah,
you know, like I said, I don't believe that there's any, mental, hindrances that are even present for anybody. I believe it's all mental. I mean, you know, what does it take for somebody to, you know, to mousetrap and get run over by their bike and then decide not to sell it? I mean, it's a mental thing, you know what I mean?
yeah. Well, I
So
mean, we've seen that with some big riders too. I've seen that, you know, where guys come out and they're like incredibly talented riders, and then, you know, like they have one accident, they're like, "Yep, fuck it, I'm selling it."
yeah, see, and that's why, I preach longevity, and it took me a long time to learn that, because you think about it, um, the guys that I feel like have the most respect,
Hmm.
that I look at, that I'm like, okay, these people to me are not, maybe not necessarily like the writing style that I like, but I have the
Yeah,
utmost respect to them. Guys like, Sit Down Steve and Guru and you know, all the street fighters, because they've been doing it for so long. Like,
yeah, that's for sure.
guys
Yeah,
like, Rodney Sargent, Jesse Toller, dudes like that. Like, I think Toller has, and Britton. I know Britton has broke his neck. I think Toller's broke his neck. Rodney has flipped stoppies. Like, I think what it is for me is I realize that, you know, going, you know, super hard every single time and doing stuff I'm not ready to do doesn't benefit me for the long run. So instead of, you know, trying to, you know, learn, you know, it took me 6 months to learn coasters. Instead of trying to learn them in 3 weeks like I normally would have, I would just go in there and pull the clutch and just bang limiter. Like, if it takes me 6 months instead of 3, nobody cares, because I'm going to be able to
yeah,
ride for that much longer if I don't break my neck. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
exactly.
what I've
I
noticed is that longevity is important, because I feel like
oh,
that's where the respect is earned. I mean, I feel like one of the reasons that, you know, Capone was so respected is because he rode streets for so long, you know?
yeah, for
Like,
sure, for sure. And he knew so much more. And like, man, I miss Capone so much. He was such a huge supporter of me when I was starting Pilots Club. And I mean, like that guy, man, you find far in between. People, when you find people like Capone, man, you got to hold on to those people and love the fuck out of him, dude. Capone was a great guy. But talking about longevity, I was talking about this with Yeehaw. I don't know if you know him. Really good dude. Shout out to Zach. We were talking the other day because, you know, like sometimes I go super hard and I'll ride every day, but I don't get anywhere. And what I told him, like my solution for that is, say like I have a trick, right? And I have a certain thing that I'm going for like 3 days. I'll go hard as fuck trying to get that trick. But if like I'm getting to a point where I feel like I'm running my head just into a wall and I don't know what to do next, just take a couple days off, do something else. Like go do something that you know how to do for the next 2 or 3 days. Refresh yourself. Like as much as I want to like go hard and say like I'm gonna do this for the next 5 days and I'm gonna have it fucking perfect by the end of then. That's not really how it works. You know, for a lot of people, whether you want it to be that way or not, you have to take a break and let your your mental energy ramp itself up again.
Yeah, I feel like that mental clarity is really important. I was doing my other podcast the other day, and I was telling somebody, having a conversation about failure, and that we can really, especially something like this, and unless you have built up this like mental callus that you are okay with something happening over and over and over and over again and you not succeeding. I've gotten to that point. You can get very frustrated very quickly and keep getting to the point where you start to get more worked up mentally that you're not going to get what you want to get. You're not going to get those tricks because you're literally proving yourself right every single time. So if I go, bro, I've been trying to hand drag for like a month now, bro, and I can one-handed scrape, no problem, but my hand won't touch the ground. I feel like a flopping fish on a deck, like trying to reach my hand down there. But if I'm not like mentally sound and I keep saying, I can't do this, well, guess what? Every time I clutch up and I don't touch the ground, I'm proving myself right. So if I'm not, I've built that mental fortitude, but if I haven't, that can build up. And like you said, taking that break and kind of resetting to doing something that you know you're good at, so you build up that confidence, because all this is we're playing a mind game. I mean, I know, you know, we're doing all this physical shit and we're doing all this, you know, wild stuff on this bike, but it's a mind game.
Yeah, no doubt about that, man. Like, not to take away from riding, but like, I encourage people to, if you're taking riding seriously and you want to get somewhere with it, pick up something else that also supports a lot of healthy mental habits that you can apply to riding itself, not just riding, because I feel like you can, not everyone's like this, but you know, you may get burnt out after a while. And jiu-jitsu has been super beneficial for me in my riding, because like we said about mental fortitude and longevity, with jiu-jitsu, man, you get fucked up, your body goes through some pain, you know, like I have shoulders that are messed up, fingers, and it's all about longevity, because I mean, you could get just as hurt doing jiu-jitsu as you can riding. I mean, to an extent, you know, you get broken bones, things like that, but being able to chill out and figure out, like, okay, let's go work on something else instead of working on one trick super hard for the next week or whatever. Take a break, do a baby step into it, and just get that baby step down. I did a vlog the other day on style, which kind of has to do with this. Is, you know, I feel like if you're gonna go for something, like my point is not to have a huge bag of tricks, it's to have a multitude of tricks that I can do very, very well and smoothly, but be able to do everything across the board, which is like, you know, where I'm comfortable at. And if I want to get to that point, then definitely, man, there's no reason why I can't. But right now I have some tricks that I have in my bag, and I want to pull those off as smooth as I can, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like to me, I always like know you as like foot brake. Like I always like, that's the first thing I think of. So I think that's very relevant to what you're talking about, because I always think of you like I said, with the taking the helmet off and doing that, I always think of that. And then I think of just, for some reason, when I think you, I always, the first thing that pops in my head is like foot in the hole wheelies. Like,
yeah, everyone talks about that, dude. Everyone's like, how do you have so much control in that area? Like, it's just where it's at for me. Is that's where I learned, you know, and that's where I've gone off of. I feel like a lot of people that, like we've been talking about, mentalities get in the way. We're like, oh, I just can't do it. It's like, well, whatever you start off from, and that's what you know, and that's what will help you in the long run.
One thing I want to commend you on that is taking left-hand turns on the street in the foot in the hole. That's like, yo, I'm like, dude, that's crazy. I'm like, that's dope.
Thanks, man.
Like that's a lot of control. And anybody that rides a bike will say that's control. Cause you know, you see most guys, they'll do, like they'll step to staggered, like they'll put foot in the hole and then the left foot on the peg, like you like,
yeah, the rear side, or
circles,
the peg.
know? And then, or, you know, people will go Ralph Louis to take a left-hand turn, or seat sand to take a left-hand turn. But to be on the right side of the bike and take a left-hand turn, that's gangster to me. But,
Thanks,
so
man.
I just want to, ask you a few questions, bro. Before we round it out, one thing you wish you would have known when you started stunt riding.
You know what? As cheesy as this is gonna sound, it's part of the journey, dude. I'm glad I've learned everything and that I didn't know anything. Kind of get into it. Not to say I've had a lot of good mentors in this game, uh, and a lot of really awesome people to help me along. But like everything that I've learned, I feel like it's come to me at the right moment. So
I like that. Okay. So what keeps you going? Like what keeps, like I think we touched on it a little bit, about the injury and then, what you were doing through that, but I never really got like, what kept you like motivated to get back on the bike when you were healthy, or, what keeps you going now?
getting better, dude. Honestly, like every day, it's not like I'm in competition with everybody. I'm in competition with myself to get fucking better every day and hit it hard. So if it's like, if it's with me and my injury, I was waking up going, you're gonna get better and get back on that fucking bike, no matter what it takes. And that's what keeps me going, is just to be better every day, be better than my yesterdays. Uh, every day is a lesson. Every day is a new learning tool and what you can apply to tomorrow.
Mhm. So, what is the
Whether that's riding or anything that you're doing, just apply
yeah?
that to life in general.
What does the bike mean to you? Because I had that same type of energy when every time I've been injured. I'm like, the first thing I'm doing when I get back is whatever I was doing when I crashed that I got hurt. So
Yep.
that's always so talk to me a little bit about, it takes, like I said, it takes a certain type of person and certain type of energy to even be able to do that. So like, does it have like a metaphoric representation to you in some way, or is it just because you like the bike and that's the kind of dude you are, or do you have like a tie to it? I personally, I have a tie to the bike. I don't know if, everybody, is kind of like the same, or if there's difference, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. So does the bike mean something to you, or is it just, I love to ride and this is the kind of dude I am as I just get after it?
Yeah, you know what? I just think it's I grew up riding from like a very, very young age. My dad had a 50 with training wheels, and it's just been a staple in my life. Um, I wouldn't call it a tie. I think it's just who I am, and just getting the fuck after it, honestly.
Okay, cool. I like it.
Whether it's bikes or whatever, like no matter what I do in life, I want to be the best of it. And like that could be a bad thing, but that's also something where if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna be good. There's no sense in wasting my time doing half-ass shit.
I like that. Yeah. I always say that everything you do has your name on it. So you might as well do it good.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's no reason to, pick up even if it's a hobby. I've never, I don't get that term hobby. Like for me, like if I'm doing something, that's my life at that point. Like this is who I am. It's not a hobby.
I like it. What are your future goals in riding?
Man, honestly, I really have no future goals in riding. Just travel a lot. Just travel, and right now it's about the brand. Become a better businessman, and living my life to the fullest, whether it is with riding. Bikes can come and go today or tomorrow. So it's all about just living life and being the best that you can. So really no goals with riding. Just every day be the best you can be and get back on no matter what.
Like it. How do you want to be remembered, bro? On and off the bike?
On and off the bike. Uh Man, just that I hope I inspire people to be the best that they can be. That's all.
I like it.
Whether I'm liked, hated, I've had both in life.
And you're still
I just
here.
hope I make a change. Huh?
I said, you've been liked and hated and you're still here.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just about, uh making a change, man. I came into this world, I want to leave it a better one when I take off.
Cool. I like it. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Don't forget, man, subscribe to me, subscribe to this guy. He does YouTube as well. Leave comments, share these. These interviews are going to keep going. This is just number 3, I think I'm at. Yeah, number 3.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So we will see you guys in the next one.